Hello, I'm Chandler, and I am way over here for a reason today. And that reason is we are reviewing this set. It is the Star Wars Rancor Pit. If you remember from Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Luke comes in, says, "You must show me to Jabba now." And Bib Fortuna says something along the lines of, "Dewanaga Jabba now." And they go up, and Jabba throws Luke in the Rancor Pit, which is sort of like... The Rancor is sort of like Godzilla shrunk down. He's this giant, slavering, meaty monster, and Luke kills him. And this is the Rancor Pit. It is actually released along with Jabba's Palace, a new Jabba's Palace set, which is a remake of one done in the early 2000s. And Jabba's Palace sits on top, and then the Rancor Pit sits down below. I don't have very high hopes for this set, frankly, because, I mean, it's a square. It's a giant square. And even their little "look at all the things we have" picture on the back shows it as a giant square. Really the only thing exciting about it is it does have a Rancor minifigure, which no set has had before. It's a new thing, and that's the exciting thing about it. So, let's take it out of the box, shall we? It's got a bunch of bags. It's got... I'll just scoot this down slightly. It's got a bunch of bags. It does not have an A-wing in it, actually. That's something else. You've got the pretty hefty instruction manual. You've got bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, and bag 1, and bag not labeled. And you have the Rancor minifigure. I must admit I opened this earlier. He originally came in a bag with the rest of his pieces. It really amused me that they sent him to you not only armless, but jawless, and you had to put him together. But, you know, he snaps together easily enough. Like that, and then his jaw snaps on. Hey buddy, want to say hi to the internet? Want to say hi to the internet? Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Zippy. Zippy. Look there. Look there. This is Zippy, one of my 3 dogs. He is a good boy. Who's a good boy? Okay, go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. He's probably going to be there for a while. Good boy. And then his jaw snaps on. I thought his jaw just snapped on. Yeah, there we go. His jaw snaps on. And then his hands also snap on. And then his fingers. The cool thing about him is he has more articulation than most minifigures, which I've not played with the Hulk. I plan on getting the Hulk's helicarrier escape sometime soon, because thought I heard my phone ring, but I didn't. Because I just got some gift money, and that's probably where that'll go, so you'll get to see him a little later. But here he is. His legs do not move, sadly, but that's because of the position they're in. If you've seen the Lego Gollum minifigure, it's just like this, but scaled down. His arms do move, and they have little clicky points. I'm not sure why. I guess to hold it in place. His fingers do move, and that is so he can hold a minifigure in there, and I'll show that later. And his jaw opens, and that's one of the features of him. He actually has enough room in there for a standard-sized minifigure. And they sent you a poor little Gamorrean guard in the set just so he can be eaten by the Rancor. So, there's the Rancor minifigure. I'm not going to bore you with the putting together process. I will, however, put it in there and speed it up. So, be prepared to see a set take about 30 seconds to put together, maybe a minute. So that's that. Again, there's the Rancor, now with claws. He can hold something. Lovely. There's Luke. He has a bone. He didn't have a lightsaber yet in that scene. Oh, where's my face? There's my face. You don't care about my face, you care about the set, but I care about my face. I'm very vain. Here's the Rancor Keeper with his pickaxe or something. But you actually care about the set, probably. If not just the Rancor, which is very cool. So here it is. This set. It's a big square. I mean, that's what I said it was. That's why I wasn't super excited. It's a bit smaller than I thought it was, actually. Or rather, it's as big as I thought it would be, and then other people led me to believe it would be larger than this. They said, "Oh, it's very big. It's pleasantly surprisingly big." And this is about the smallest I can imagine it being, and not being mad at it being small. So let's go through the features. Number one, the gate, which does rise. You have to lift it up yourself like that. It pops right out if you don't stop lifting it. This handle, which for some reason is bright red, connects to a peg which can hold the thing up. and then of course drop it. Not sure why it's bright red. I may replace that with gray later because I have a couple of these Technic pieces. There's the Rancor Keeper with his little door. He's got a key and a pitchfork for some reason. He also has a bucket for some reason. Maybe he's shoveling manure. There's this box with a chicken leg in it. Again, for some reason or another. It's got a skeleton, which their Lego skeletons can't actually sit, so he sort of just leans nonchalantly in the corner. Who, me? Don't mind me. I'm just leaning. It's got this little hidden door with a skull as a lever, or as a handle, inside. As this is what the set called for, mind you, this isn't just what I decided to put in there, is a bone and a spare key. It also has, it opens up, obviously, as you saw. Back here, this is a hidden door. The box shows Luke hiding from the Rancor in there. It's even got little studs for a figure to sit in there, if one were so inclined, which I might have to do to get him in there. Look, there he is. You open the door. He was hiding there the whole time. And then, of course, the Rancor, which only barely fits in the pit. Just, I mean, just barely fits in there. This was clearly designed, they clearly designed the Rancor first and then made the square exactly as big as it needed to be in order to hold him in there. His hands don't even fit, not all of them even fits within the columns properly. I don't know if you can really tell from this angle, but the door had to be recessed slightly to make him fit. So yeah, so that's the set. Overall, I'm not super excited about it. Let me sit right in front of that glare so it can't mess up the picture. The Rancor is frickin' awesome. I mean, he is. He's a Lego Rancor. He's exactly what anyone could want from a Lego Rancor. It's a bit of a shame that his feet don't move, but to get him to stand up at all in this pose, they really needed to be fixed in place. Sadly, even then, he tips over without hardly any force, and really needed a base plate to stand up properly. And I don't know why they didn't give us a base plate in the set, unless they thought maybe it would screw with this opening and closing. The Rancor is obviously the selling point. The Rancor is really cool. I love the Rancor. He is definitely going on my shelf of favorite minifigs. Sadly, he's too big to fit in any cases I have, so he's going to have to sit by himself until I manage to make or find a case that's big enough for him. The Rancor Keeper is already sad at the loss of his Rancor at the end of the scene. He does have two heads, the other one being moderately perplexed. Maybe. I'm not sure what that's about. Luke, it is the exact same Luke you find on the Desert Skiff, just without a lightsaber. Instead of a lightsaber, he has a bone. He didn't have his lightsaber in the movie at this point. He did, in fact, use a bone, and he wedged it in the Rancor's mouth, which it doesn't actually fit, which is a bit of a shame because that was the whole point of the bone. But that's okay. I'm not mad about that. Stand up. So that's Luke. If you want this Luke minifigure but don't want to pay $50 for the set, get the skiff. It's $25. It's great. I love the skiff. It also has Boba Fett and Lando Calrissian. So overall opinion on this set. Rancor's awesome. The Gamorrean's actually cool too. I like the new Gamorreans because the old ones were just sort of lumps of gray plastic, and I may put that at the end of this video as a sting, just showing the difference between the old ones from this playset and the new ones, because they've changed a lot over the last decade, or however long it's been since the original sets came out. But the set itself, this thing, the bricks in it are worth $50 or $60. I mean, there are enough bricks to justify the cost of the set. There are some cool bricks in here. It's an interesting idea. Once I have the Jabbas Palace set, I will drop it on top of here and see how it looks, and maybe that'll make the set a whole lot better. The original Jabbas Palace set had some extra pieces to it. It had the big piece in the middle, which was a little bigger than this, and then it had two auxiliary pieces that were just polybagged, which were really cool. And that's where you got your Han and Carbonite and your C-3PO and R2-D2, and I think your Boba Fett. Yeah, Boba, Han and Carbonite, and the Gamorrean were one set. C-3PO and R2-D2 at the door were the other set, and then Jabba's Palace, of course, which had Luke, Jabba, Princess Leia in her chainmail bikini, a couple droids. I want to say something else, but maybe not. That was a fun set. It was a little skimpy, but it was fun, and it was cheap. The entire Jabba's Palace set in the early 2000s could be put together for less than the price of the Rancor Pit. The Jabba's Palace set now is $120, and you can't really chalk that up to inflation. Lego's just gotten more expensive, and their sets have gotten nicer, to be fair. There are more pieces, and it's better detailed now. But I lost my train of thought. My opinion on this set. Unless you're going to get Jabba's Palace, don't get it. It's nice for what it is, because what it is a nice box for the Rancor. But if you are that desperate for the Rancor, get them on Amazon. Get the other figures on Amazon. Get them on eBay. Get them anywhere else. Because the box, the Lego cage is disappointing. Not terrible, but disappointing. So, with that said, I will bid you a fond farewell, and I will catch you on the next review, which will probably be another one of those little poly bags. I'll see you later. Toodles.